everybody. I am Terry Cummings, and I am with the Power of Peace Project. We would love for all of you to come out to the Brickyard, which is on January the 11th from 6 to 10. It is our big fundraiser for the year, and we're going to be roasting this guy in order to raise funds to help kids that are out on the streets, get them off the streets, and we really need your help. So come on out to the Brickyard, January the 11th from 6 to 10.
They're gonna make fun of me for a good cause. Invite your friends.
You're watching the Power of Peace podcast with Kit Cummings.
I'm Tony with the Pop Team, and I am Power of Peace. Welcome back to the Power of Peace podcast. I know you're used to Kit being in the main seat, but the ratings are kind of low on his content, so we're switching it up. I'm gonna be taking over. So.
You just called your dad Kit.
Exactly. You're the guest.
I feel kind of weird about that.
Today.
Okay, I'll shut up. My bad.
But we do have a really special guest. My best friend, somebody that I've known my whole life, family, honestly. Karan Malord.
AKA Q.
AKA Q.
Thank you.
I'm happy you're here, man.
Happy to be here. Very excited. This is wonderful. And like you said, we're like brothers. Literally, this is like another dad to me. I've always viewed y'all like family, and it's wonderful being able to share in this space and being able to, share with each other and share with other people.
Nah, I'm excited, man. I mean, I know it's funny. We were talking about this before we started recording, but it's like everybody says that they like want to do a podcast when they're with their boys. Sitting around a couch cracking jokes. Like, we're so entertaining. But me and Q have been talking about this since we were like, I don't know.
Before podcasts.
Yeah, like a long time. Yeah. Like, we should get
while.
some mics and hook them up and
record
on our
conversation.
Well, were you in a lot of his little videos when he was doing them when he was a kid? He always had, his papa gave him, tools. And he's been doing little clips and skits and bits.
Definitely lots of skits.
Let me say this though, is Karan Malord not the coolest name of all time? You gotta blow up.
Appreciate
it. Because that name is
it's I've always thought it was a name for show
money.
business.
Well, that is money.
name for showbiz. I mean, your dad talked about it at your wedding.
Yeah.
When he gave the toast. He said, when I named you Karan, I knew the power that I was giving you.
Definitely.
But the consequences that were going to come from that too. That's not a off the radar name.
Pretty heavy name.
If my name was Bible,
Mm-hmm.
that's
it's strong.
Hey, now here's hilarious. When I travel on the Delta ticket, it's only got so many characters. Okay, so every time I'm checking in, my name is John. I mean, I go by Kit John if I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
It says, and I'm John Christopher Cummings, so it literally says John Christ Cummings. And I'm like, really? No pressure, bro.
J. Christ.
That's J. Christ.
That's a rap name.
That's it right there. That's it.
Shoot, J. Cole?
J. Christ.
Coming to save rap music.
We out here
coming to save rap music. Yeah, the White Knight.
Are we recording?
Music. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Forgot you were here, bro.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess I wanted to start by just kind of like origin story, how we met, give a little expose on who Q is to me. But we met in 6th grade. It's funny how like you have some memories that are like more vivid than others. But anyways, I come into, are we getting feedback, Mike? Or are we good? My bad. So I walk into, it was like a gifted social media class. I'm a flex. We were both pretty smart.
Yep.
It was 6th grade. It was like the second class of the day. And you know how excited you are to like walk into a class and meet your new classmates, right? So I walk in 6th grade, my ego was maybe bigger than it is now. Like I thought I was hot.
That's scary.
Shit. Like I'm walking around campus. It was a crazy middle school. We had 1,300 kids in our grade.
Yeah, it was huge.
So 6th grade was like going to college.
Yeah.
This was not like, well, going to that second trailer I spend all day in.
Yeah.
So I walk into this class, we sit down, everybody's kind of getting acquainted, talking around, and I peep Q. He's like a tall, cool-looking dude in the class. And as soon as I watched him, like he sat down, interacted with the girls around him, I said, either this guy is going to be an asset to me or he's going to be a threat to me, right? But I was sitting kind of far away, so I'm peeping.
I was peeping the same thing. I was like, this guy's got a lot of female friends, man.
Right? The
Oh,
charisma.
no, I thought I was going to.
So
The Riz.
the basketball season, the rec basketball season started that same day. First day of school, first practice.
All right.
And so we go to some elementary, gym, and I walk in, and he's on my team. And so immediately we kind of hit it off, like whether we like each other or not, we got the same class and the same team.
We're gonna see each other.
Yeah, and that was kind of the beginning of it all. I mean, you were like one of the coaches on that team, essentially. Yep. So was your dad. And I mean, we were all trying to win.
Yep.
Like it was the NBA finals.
It was wild, man. People came out to that I think we made it.
It was a playoff game. We made it Final Four.
Yep, Final Four.
Is that when you hit the long shot off the backboard?
I was doing spin moves I had never done. I was like, goodness gracious, we were balling.
That was the Final Four that we lost. It was me, Q, Paul.
Yep.
Paul Haggerty.
What about Z? Was he?
Z was on a different team.
He was on the team that beat us.
Well,
what? Wait,
no, it wasn't. It was Terrence and Thomas.
Terrence and Thomas.
So we played the best, like two of the best athletes.
Yeah,
I remember
literally.
one of them.
Yeah, and I'm having to guard.
They were both ranked, like
Yeah.
ESPN ranked athletes. Like,
you know that feeling? There's nothing like more nerve-wracking. Maybe there's a couple things in life. But when a point guard that's nasty is bringing the ball up the court and you're the one man in the middle of the court, like, yeah, everyone's watching me. I'm about to break my ankles potentially.
It's tough. Lots of pressure. Pressure.
But so we met doing that and obviously hit it off. I wanted to talk about. I think that it's funny that I was thinking back this morning on like. What are the main reasons that make our relationship, like, as homies so strong?
Yeah.
And I think that's because we spent our formative years, like, developing our confidence together.
Definitely.
And what I mean by that is, like, I think back to the things that we would do together, and they were always, like, fear-based. It was, like, whatever the absolute value of hype could be, that's what we were doing.
The biggest thing, I swear we were ahead of the game. We used to go to the mall. And just be like, hey, can you drop us off? We're just going to walk around. Like, are you really? Just going to walk around the mall.
Shopping.
We ain't have no money. We're not shopping. We're just talking to girls. We were just out there spitting.
Working on your game.
Just doing laps.
L after L.
Literally.
One dub.
Hey, couple dub. We like, and then examine the game footage. Like, all right, what did you do that was wrong?
Bro, we would go
did this.
Instant replay.
No, literally, it's just, oh, hey, go ahead.
Challenge
I'm
flag.
gonna watch.
Flag, bro.
You don't need a wingman. You got it, man. Go ahead.
Bro, I will say there was one of my favorite stories from.
I hope it's the one that I was about to ask you about.
It probably is.
I will tell
we
you.
got a lot, but you can tell after
sure.
if it's not the one. We did this thing. I think we were in Dick's Sporting Goods, which even makes it funnier. We were being dicks that day, and there were these two, attractive girls. We're probably in 6th grade. This is, like he said, we're ahead of our time. We weren't waiting until high school to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
It was like, we need to learn this now to be successful.
Work on our craft. Got to put in 10,000 hours.
Got 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
Man.
And so I think I came up to you like, dude, we got to pull some like crazy stunt, right? So I fake trip into a rack of like clothes and knock it over. So much so that workers are like
Whoa,
oh my God,
crisis.
So Q helped me up, right? And then he walks over to the two girls and he's like, I'm so sorry about my friend. He was like, you guys were so attractive that he just fainted.
Fell out.
He fell out. And these girls, they ate the salsa.
Ate it up.
They
You
loved it.
can't
It was
not
good.
eat that.
Yeah. So we
good.
start talking to these girls. They're like, we're about to go to Starbucks. You want to get some coffee? I'm like, absolutely.
Coffee at 12.
We don't even drink.
Oh man, you guys like get a martini?
I think it was like we were approaching a situation where we got to a point where people like, are they as young as they look?
Yeah,
They're
we're
just-
pulling it off.
And we realized, and it's something that I kind of learned and took on. Like, if you walk into any situation knowing that you're supposed to be there, having that confidence, like really just
Remember what we call
moving with certainty, moving like you're sure of yourself, like everybody's gonna respond and give you that same energy back.
Facts.
Doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Doesn't matter
what you
at
look like.
all.
Your attractiveness skyrockets. It's confidence. Remember what we used to call it? Walk in like you're walking out.
Yep.
The
yeah.
worm.
Right?
Yeah.
The worm.
Yeah, but the ending of that story is we go to Starbucks with these girls and we're kicking it. We're vibing. We're like, dude, this is amazing. Like, what's next?
We just
you
did
know,
it.
do we kiss these girls?
I know.
Right?
We didn't practice this part.
We never got this far.
No plays written up for this.
And then all of a sudden, some dude walks up behind us and is like, Mackenzie, y'all ready to go? Who are these guys? And we turn around, it's her dad. And immediately,
man, yeah.
I don't know why it was like the SWAT team or the cops pulled up on us, but we ran like full speed away.
Yeah. Your cool factor just
Yeah,
went.
like it felt like he put a gun to my back, right?
It
He
was
probably
like,
would have loved us.
my
but-
daughter, no.
Yeah, we ran, called
Gone,
mom.
gone.
Hey, mom, like it's kind of sketchy here today.
It's like, okay, cool, I'm pulling around the parking lot. Yeah, we're gonna leave.
Now, I don't know if it was a iteration of that or if it was I got the details mixed up, but I remember this might have been like a regular gig, but in my
definitely
mind
was.
I see you in the mall part, not in a store.
Yeah.
And you literally are just you lay down. You're not fall down, you're just laying down, and then your wingman comes up and the girl's like, you okay?
Yeah.
No, he's not okay. You just knocked him out. And so I think, was this a reoccurring? Well, if it works once,
this
I
is
mean,
regular.
good Lord.
This
Oh
this is a
yeah,
good
we were
one.
trying.
This is regular. We were trying all the plays over and over again. Failure was just another time. It didn't stop. It did
It
not
was
stop.
a good combo too because what did we used to call it? It was
Literally,
like
we used
white
to-
mocha.
White
or
mocha
like-
or something like that. We used to say this stupid
Vanilla mocha.
Vanilla mocha.
Was
That's
that
exactly
it?
what it was.
All right, Phil. It's better. That's what I do. I take a concept and I make it better.
It worked.
I
It
will
worked.
say it's because it opened the door for more flavors.
Definitely.
We were is yin and yang.
Exactly.
Like
You
me
know.
and Gary.
Exactly. Right?
Ah, okay.
But
Made it flow a lot easier.
that's hysterical. Yeah, in the end of that super long tangent is that like I feel like experiencing those things with a homie.
Yeah.
You know, we used to fight all the time, like just for fun
Just for
in the
fun.
cul-de-sac.
Just for fun.
You know, we got all the
Practicing,
boys here. Like, let's figure out who's the best at striking.
Let's figure that one out. Okay. Let me put you in an armbar. See if you can get out.
Do you remember that? Remember that one little clip of you and a couple of your friends in a basement? And I think
yeah.
it was just like you get one shot. I've never seen a human being fly so far. Do you remember the one?
I'm not gonna flex. I don't know where that video went.
It's
Man.
But
it
have I
looks
told you
like
this
it was
story?
a deep fake or something.
I'm gonna
Dang.
tell you. I'm gonna brag and then give you one too. I gotta tell him. But yeah, I was at a house party with like a good group of people that I didn't know, and there was this dude who was kind of like not beefing with me, but kind of like alpha, trying to be the alpha. You know what I mean? He didn't know me, but
It was your base, not your basement, but you run that. Yeah, he's trying to.
yeah. And so they get this idea of like putting gloves on and sparring.
That's always a good one.
And of course, you know, when somebody tries you, he's like, yo, bro, you want to do it? Like, I got gloves for you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that's
sure.
You want to see.
You want
wanna
these
find
hands?
out.
You want these hands?
But I hit him with this, like, Sean O'Malley right, just straight right. But like, he was already stepping back. So, like, my momentum, like, hit him in the side of the head as he was going back.
Tough.
And he, like, flew into the wall.
I'm not lying. It was distance. I don't know. I mean, it was the laws of physics did not apply to
Look
this.
like an anime, just shockwave, broke the sound barrier.
But I gotta say, do you remember the time? I don't want to name him because that's the homie.
Do it.
We were playing basketball. He get upset. Y'all get into a squabble.
Yeah.
And he has glasses.
The other?
Yeah, the other guy. And Q, I think you open hand slapped him in the face so hard that his glasses flew like into the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, I regretted that. I did. I regretted it when I went, like, not when it happened, definitely. But like a little bit afterwards, I was like, dang, like, I'm gonna see him again tomorrow, and we're friends, you know.
Past tense.
It just
Past.
well, things we remained friends in that friend group, but things were a little bit different, and that's the thing. Like a lot of our friends, honestly, like we used to, play fight, slap box, stuff like that, and I guess it wasn't. He like came into the situation thinking that that's not where we were all gonna go. Like we like that's what we do, and I mean, as men, there's a certain level of physicality, and we were young men. I didn't punch him.
You just bitch slapped him.
I just, put the whole hand on his face.
Arguably worse.
No, definitely worse.
That's why I was like,
And
should have punched him. I should have punched him, and then it would have warranted because the way it happened, it was pretty dramatic. That's why I was like, and I'm not a dramatic person.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't even think
really
he
chill.
swung first.
I
I
didn't.
think you
I moved
backed
back
up and
and-
slapped him.
the slap is it's kind of like, I'm not going to hurt you as
Exactly.
bad, but it hurts you
kill you.
worse.
'Cause it hurts
It's
your
like,
pride.
it's kind of like a man
And
just
I didn't
slapped.
want to
ego
do that.
slapped. Yeah.
That
I
is-
already knew there was no establishing a dominance. There, like we're all friends. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't that. That's why I felt bad. I was like, that's different. That's why I was like, I should have just.
Okay, so you just mentioned it, but I kind of wanted to talk about this as like the physicality of man.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's 2023. We live in a very, I'm going to say PC world, but we all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right? Men, I feel like, are a different version of men a lot of times.
Do we call it, what do we call it, remember? You can say it because she's so pure as a driven snow. But we call it the pussification of America. And don't
And I
cancel
don't-
me. But it's like,
we don't mean that in like...
not
I
in a
just
bad
mean-
way. It's just, it's so,
Yeah, it's just like not, especially in a physical way. So I say that to say like, I feel like I've always needed an outlet as a man, just as a person, to get this like deep rooted anger and just like testosterone fire out. And I mean, knowing you're like the one martial arts self-defense guy that I know that I feel like.
did not know this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've been fighting since we were teenagers.
Yeah, literally.
He knows more about like all the different like homie can sword fight.
I've done a lot.
He could like javelin you. But I wanted to ask like, your thoughts on like the importance of like being physical and like having an outlet,
Yeah, I definitely think it's really important. And I mean, it's one thing that honestly my dad really instilled in me early. Like I was 3 years old and he put me in karate. And I have probably only had maybe like 3 or 4 years where I wasn't doing some form of martial arts. And I definitely realized that it put me in a different space than a lot of like my peers growing up. There was no like need to prove myself in that regard. Because I kind of just had a good grasp on what I was capable of, what other people were capable of, having that understanding, and then that understanding really kind of just put me in a position where I usually understood where things could go, and so I like to navigate that differently. But having that outlet was important because I could see what happened to people who didn't have that outlet. Yeah. And everybody's different. Everybody, male or female, but everybody has different levels of physicality, and men just generally, because of our biology, we just, testosterone makes you want to, dominate things. That's literally what it does. And, you need to exercise discipline above all else, especially as men. It's as physical as it is emotional.
Yeah.
Even. And that physicality ties into our mentality and our emotional, you know, well-being.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the same for everybody, but men, it's a stronger tie for us.
Yeah.
And so having that ability and that understanding of yourself, that self-knowledge, you know, even tasting a little bit of your own blood, you know,
It's
like,
huge.
like
Yeah.
that
No,
it
it's
gives
big.
you
Like
that, it
humility,
centers
too.
you. It literally, you need that humility.
But if you, I love how you put it. It's the more you understand what you have, the more confidence you have, and the more peace you can have that you bring into a situation. Because, you know, I mean, I want to clarify. Obviously, you know, when I said that, I'm a peacemaker, and I believe in protecting the weak.
Absolutely.
I really do. And I mean, those that are being bullied, and the way that we do it is transform the bully instead of just try to protect the bullied, but transform the bully. And so I see you as a peaceful guy, but you know how to protect yourself, and that brings you confidence in. And if somebody is being aggressive, you know, in this world and not with your friends, something that you're in a situation and you have a calmness about you, there's an energy that people pick up, even if they don't know they're picking it up.
Scary,
and it's a
definitely.
little scary. And if the guy smiles at you, it's like, uh-oh, he enjoys
Yeah.
this
This
stuff. But what it made me think of is I love nature shows, man. I love it, especially, you know, Our Planet and things like that. And I was watching one on predators, you know, and it was, I think it was pumas, or, you know what I'm saying? And it showed the little ones that are coming up. And once they get to a certain age, they've been watching their mom hunt. And then they start playing with one another and acting like they're hunting, and they learn to wrestle, and they're throwing jabs, and they're just working it out as part of nature to find out, who am I, and what do I have, and can I be tested? And I think that there was a lot of that in the generation that preceded us, rites of passage that made a young man a man. And this is by no means any kind of talk on gender issues. We'll do another podcast on that. But I believe in compassion, but I believe in protecting, but also believe in being able to know how to carry yourself, you know, so that you can handle a situation if it comes.
Totally. I mean, I couldn't agree more with both of y'all, but I mean, that's what's been a huge help for me is I like to say that, like, I fight legally so I don't fight illegally.
Which I
And
love
like that like peace and calmness that you mentioned is like, I want to sharpen the weapon that is me as much as I can. Not for ego or for
domination.
like masculinity or the darkness of it. It's because I want to be ready for these situations that may never happen. But if they do happen, that calmness, like you said, I don't want to be flustered or freaking out. You know, I want to be able to get into a street fight if I need to and immediately pull guard. Like a turtle.
Laying
you're gonna hit
laying
me?
on the
Come.
street.
They're gonna be like, whoa.
Like, exactly. Immediately diffuse.
You're in guard, and
the
then
situation.
you do the little.
You do that, you're like,
I saw this meme today. They're like, when you rear end somebody that does jujitsu and he hops out the car and he's like, what was that, man? Like, what are you doing? And he gets on the ground. He's like,
starts scooting towards him.
Please,
Oh man,
please,
crab
I'll
walking
give you
his
full.
way.
I'll give you full guard.
Said I don't want it. I'll get back in my car.
Oh my God.
But that's real, and I mean that's something I talk to my wife about sometimes too. Like there's just a different way that we have to, you know, navigate the world, and it's that interplay and that confidence that honestly that probably a big reason, you know, why my wife was drawn to me. I you know, is the confidence that I have in being able to be a protector and a provider in that regard. You know, that's nothing that I have any issues with, and I had a really good model for that growing up. I had a lot of faculties that were, you know, put in place and infrastructure put in place that were, you know, able to give me a sense of like refinement in that regards. And, you know, and having that mentality, knowing, okay, like when I'm walking around, sometimes, you know, we're leaving an event, we're in the middle of the city, it's dark, you know, it's nice, lights are going. She's like, hold my hand. Not yet. You know, those little
Just
things.
awareness.
Being aware, you know, having that knowing. And you had said it before, you know, that calmness that you have in that situation, just that overall centered knowing that you get as a man from, you know, exploring that physicality and understanding that, understanding that. I keep returning to that word, but it's a
Understand.
yeah, it's different than understanding. I mean, when you're understanding it, you're looking up at it. You're understanding it. You know, when you understand that, you brought that knowing inside yourself. It's something that you can reflect inward on and stand firm in yourself, literally.
And you can't fake that.
You can't fake that.
You can't.
It's
In
just
nature,
there.
you cannot fake confidence.
Energy.
There's ego,
Yeah.
and there's bravado. That's not confidence.
Yeah, totally.
That understanding, I'm gonna steal that, bro.
Please, you have it. You
But,
got
I
it.
mean, anything you had.
You got it.
That's good.
Yeah, I do want to talk about, I mean, you know, I've told you this and I've told your family this, but your mom and pops were always like a surrogate family to me. You know, I spent so many weekends at your place around your family growing up and like in the formative years, not like when we were in high school and, you know, and I was like a stupid pothead. This was like, you know, middle school going into becoming like a young man. And your dad has always been such a role model of like who I wanted to be as a man. Like the parts of being a man that I didn't want to think about, but always respected. You know what I mean? Like your dad is strict, your dad is structured, your dad is driven. He's down to get on y'all's ass if the ship isn't going the right direction.
Yep.
And, you know, I've known your dad most of my life, and to this day, it's the same thing. When we work the gun shows, you know, we're on our P's and Q's.
Yep,
Your
gotta
dad
be.
be talking to me like I'm like 13 again. Cole, what are you doing? Get over here. We gotta go. You know, and like, but you respect it, and so I think it's cool to watch like the man that you've become based on, like you said, the faculties and these like this system of support, but mainly your family that you've had. So I don't know, like what was it like growing up with parents that were so intelligent that you couldn't lie to them?
Well, for one, I definitely appreciate that. You already know, and it's love, it's family. It was tough though. For more context for y'all, my dad, like Cole said, real strict, very driven, very technologically savvy as well. Couldn't get anything over on him. He was up on all the game, I promise, before you thought you were. He used to build computers, you know, so like everybody was on LimeWire and stuff, like download, no, I didn't do any of those things. Couldn't do any of those things. My dad was, he was like the Godfather.
Yeah.
You know, my friends would get in trouble and he'd be like, he would just know, he would just sense it. I'm like, what do you mean call Cole? What do you mean? tell him to call me. What do you huh? Yeah. Okay, sure, I'll tell him. And he would just have it. And I don't know. It was something that he saw, you know, and he told me that afterwards. You know, I didn't say I don't know. He told me that, you know, he saw a lot of himself in me and y'all. You know, he just wanted to make sure that we navigated life in a better way. Definitely, you know, a little overbearing. But, you know, thinking back on it, I really do appreciate it. He was very regimented. Like all of my siblings, we had to have good grades in school or we couldn't do anything that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Literally.
And your mom went to Harvard.
And my mom is a Harvard graduate. She's a teacher as well. I was going to get to the other half. We're talking just dad running the house, king of the castle. But the infrastructure, my mom holding it down. She was a teacher. Yeah. She was at the PTA meetings. I remember, and I mean, this will probably hit for a lot of the younger crowd, but parent portal used to not be a thing. I didn't even know about it before my parents did. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be able to talk to your teachers during the day and everything." I was like, "Oh, great,
Yeah,
awesome."
Attendance,
updates on attendance. Yeah, your son has been in all of his classes today. And you can check every single 55 minutes. Oh my gosh, it was tough. It was tough. My dad even had the dog by the door, so I couldn't even sneak out. Like I never snuck out. Never.
Right by the front door.
Right by the front door. She was just like ready. She was just gonna cry if anybody opened it. It was done.
Your dad's name, Guy.
Guy. Yep.
And I was the anti-guy.
Anti-guy?
See, I wasn't overbearing. I'm inner-bearing. All right, come on. That was.
I know, I see
what
it,
I'm
and plus
saying.
y'all
You
got
see
the
that?
bear paw
I take an
and everything, too.
idea.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry, bro.
I do have one story about your dad that, I mean, we always tell this story, but it's just one of the funniest moments ever. So we're in the living room playing video games and sleeping over at his house.
Yep. It's late.
Yeah, it's late. His dad has had a long day, but understands that we're young boys and we're having fun.
Right.
So he's like, I'm going to sleep, but if y'all don't cut this off in like 30 minutes and I come back down and you're still playing, it's, you know, it's game time. And that was at the age, we're terrified.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, we're already looking at the clock like, damn, we only got 13 minutes.
We trying to
left."
finish this Halo build, whatever. We were building a map or something.
And so, sure enough, we get so into the game, we
Hours
don't
go by.
remember. We don't remember the 30-minute rule.
Right, bro.
Now, the funniest part of this is we think that his dad goes upstairs. Obviously, that's where his room is. But what he did was he went around the wall to the other room and slept on the couch
Right
down there.
there.
We don't
had
know
no
this.
idea.
So all of a sudden, and we'll probably have to bleep this out, but who cares? We're playing video games and we hear, "Shut the fuck up!" And we're like frozen.
Because we were just like,
Yeah, we're laughing. Yeah,
And
so,
he's in the
stared.
walls.
yeah,
He's
so
like right
yeah,
on the
and
other
we,
side
yeah,
of the
we
wall.
hear it like right there. So we think he's like at the stairs, right? Cut it off immediately. We're sitting in silence. But then like nothing is said. So we start looking at each other and we're like, what?
Did that really happen?
So we go searching. We walk around the stairs. We look at the couch. His dad is dead asleep. Like I'm telling you. And to this
Knocked
day,
out.
he slept talk.
yeah. He was like
he
every time we got
screamed-
too loud,
he screamed at us in his sleep.
He'd be like, quiet down. In
Wait,
his
he was not
sleep.
awake. We're hearing him like snore and stuff.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It would be like, quiet down. And
Yeah, he's disciplining.
what?
Disciplining in his
Is he like
Talk about a sixth
eye
sense.
and ear open just while he's sleeping? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Yeah, that was scary.
You know what? I'll throw in, but serious, okay? And I told your dad this, is him being that for you guys was huge for me. Because I was in a situation where I was weekend dad, you know what I'm saying? And didn't have a lot of the 411 on what was really going on. And to know that he was there, so much so that all these years later, and we didn't tell him this is the first time that I see you since you were about 13, 14,
like that.
and all I've heard is, but I've communicated with your dad off and on a little bit. But when I really needed you guys, like when we were going through something and I was scared, I called. It didn't matter that it had been a lot of years. It didn't matter that me and your dad weren't like hangout guys. It's just like I knew he was there, and I respected him. And I got on the phone, and it was like we were like this. And I told him, I'm scared, bro. I need your help. And he jumped on it. And then I reached out to you too, if I'm remembering correctly. And you guys were like that. Who has that? There's a lot of fathers out there. They're going through stuff with their kids. They don't have another strong man. And so in a very real way, he made up for some of my lacking, for some of my, holes. Yeah. That's huge. I can't say a bigger thank you. I said it when we came in, and that was a long hug this morning, right?
Needed that.
And I did. I said, thank you for the friend that you've been to my son, because y'all saved lives. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can speak to that. Like, obviously, we talk about this, but I mean, when you go through real life stuff, it's cliche, but you figure out who your real friends are.
So true.
Right?
And who they aren't.
A lot of my best friends at that time, who I thought were my best friends, were nowhere to be found. Were alienated.
Yeah.
Blocked me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When shit hits the fan, suddenly everybody want to get out the room. But like Q and a couple other people, were there through all of it. I mean, bro, you were like living at my place essentially for like a minute. We were both kind of struggling with our own stuff, but that was pivotal in my life. So thank you for that, bro.
Absolutely,
for sure. But I don't know. I think like you asked me about this, but I do want to kind of like dive into this. Is like, what do you think is important the most important thing about like sustaining a relationship. And this can be female, male, but I'm speaking to like you and I have spent years where we really haven't even talked, but immediately could reconnect and keep in touch. And like, I mean, I met you 11 years ago. And it's about to be like 11 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, no, it might be longer than that, man.
Definitely a lot longer than 11. So 12 is 12, and
12
so
years,
it's
15.
24.
I'm totally doing the math
16.
wrong. I'm doing the math wrong.
You
Yeah.
skipped college.
I thought my
college
age.
out of there.
Well, I thought this is the math
Hey
I
man,
did.
I lost college
I thought
too.
13. I went 13. My age is 13, and then I went 2023.
Oh, there you go.
That's the dumb math.
There you go.
My bad. Longer than that. But yeah, I mean, I want to get like, what do you think we did that was able to like keep this relationship going as, you know, homies?
Well, honestly, I think that what we did was kind of derivative of what I would say is the most important thing. But I think the most important thing to maintain a relationship is really like remembering people. It's literally a law, like a universal law. You know, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transmuted.
True.
And you leave a little bit with people. You know, and your power is where your awareness is. Wherever your focusing is, that's where you're going to be putting your energy towards. And that little bit of energy that came from somebody else, say you reciprocate that. It's all about that reciprocity. So you remembering somebody, they remembering you, and building off of that, continuing to build. It's a consistent thing. And when I say memory, I don't just mean just think about somebody. You should reach out. You know, when you think about somebody, it's usually you kind of asking yourself, should I kind of start fading memories about this person or this thing out or not? Are you
Yeah, you're getting like
still,
a reminder.
Yeah, like is this on our radar still? Or can it kind of, you know, and the more you think about something and then don't take any action on it, the more yourself, like your subconscious is like,
we
must
don't
not
need
be
to.
it must not be that important, you know? It's the, there's like a part of your brain, it's like the hippocampus is like all memory and dreams and all that. But what it does is like it literally stores all the images that you take, you know, throughout the day, and it keeps them, like brews them up, you know, and takes like 2 or 3 days to kind of process your brain to process all those images, and then it'll regurgitate it in your dreams, and that's going to be your memories kind of replaying back on you. And those images, if you don't like take something from those images, do something with it, even just sticking on them.
Yeah.
You know, not to say just remembering somebody isn't enough, but you know, usually you need something. But even just keeping somebody on your mind, or you know, not shifting your focus, allowing yourself to give. You know, that's what I think is what helps maintain relationships. Really, I've never been in a space with our friendship and with our family that I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Like it was always, even inside conversations, like I'd talk about you. Like you were never not a part of my life, even in times where we weren't talking. And that's the same, you know, with other people as well. Like I know you would tell somebody about me. Oh yeah, my friend Q. Oh, my friend Cole. Oh yeah, I used to remember when I used to go over to Kid Spot. Yeah, this is like literally. I've always told people, yeah, I got a friend named Cole. You know, and of course, you know, hang out with mostly black people. So you know, I'm telling people like, hey, yeah, I'm my white boy Cole. Some of y'all met him, you know, like, and Cole know, like, cause he's around all my friends too. I'm like, yeah, I actually pretty much grew up with this dude, you know, and it gave me all this insight. You know, I used to stay with his dad when his dad had custody. Like that was part of my life story. Yeah, you know, so
Vanilla mocha.
Yeah, vanilla mocha. You know?
Bringing it back.
So
the callback.
Hell yeah, that's it. So that's why I would say that what we did there.
Yeah. No, I mean, shoot. I think it's so important what you just said, but I don't know. Not to get too deep. I don't want to like go. I don't want to cry again on the podcast. But you know, some of my biggest regrets in life are not reaching out to people, even when I had been thinking about them.
Yeah.
And like, I know this is like worst case scenario, and it's like, you know,
it's real.
You know, it doesn't happen to everybody, but I've had scenarios where I was concerned about someone, didn't reach out, and then the worst thing possible happened and I can't talk to them anymore.
Right.
Or I've literally had friends reach out to me wanting to talk, wanting to hang, and I didn't make that happen, and now I can never hang with them again.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something, you know, that roots me deeper than most. But like over the past, I would say probably in 2020, it was being alone in my apartment during the pandemic when I really got to sit and start thinking about all of this. But I try to reach out to all of my homies, even the ones that don't like reciprocate it. Like I still have friends that I will think about randomly and text. Hey bro, no, I haven't seen you in years. Just checking in, hope you're doing well.
Yep.
Like there doesn't need to be a reason. Why does there need to be a reason? And it's the same thing. It's like, I just want to send that energy. I just want you to see a message and know that like I think about you.
Yep.
That's it. You can not reply. It's fine. You can like the message and not hit me up. But like, I totally, like I've been trying to live like that. If I'm thinking about someone, or I'm like, that would be funny to send to them, or I should call them and say this, I just do it.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason that I
What if
thought
there's
about it.
a little nudge from the universe?
Absolutely.
You know,
That's what it feels like.
This field, this energy field. One, you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I love it. And to people who are out there who have, you know, young people, young millennials especially, to know that you got that kind of wisdom. I mean, that doesn't come natural. You got to put in work. And you've put in work, and I can just tell, but it's just flowing out of you. On this show, we just start a conversation and see where it goes a lot of times. But it obviously made me think of the principle of entanglement.
Absolutely.
When electrons entangle in non-locality.
Yeah.
So your friend can be around the world, and all of a sudden there's this little,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? and I have taught that and often not practiced it. And to be quite honest, yesterday, I'm thinking, this dude keeps popping into my head. He lives in up in Portland. And I'm going to call him today because it tapped 3 times yesterday. And I went, yeah, I'm going to get to it. And there was even a time where I'm going to do it right now. And I opened up my phone and there was another text.
Yep.
I went off on a rabbit trail. So thank you for that. But I think that we are entangled. And we got to be careful who we entangle with because they're with you forever. And I love how you said that we leave a little energy with them. I mean, our force fields literally cross.
Yep.
So anyway.
Sitting in the mix right now.
We're entangling right now. Yeah. So very, very cool.
Well, you talk about wisdom. So, I mean, like I talk about you all the time as well.
It's true.
Pause. But, you know, I talk about like the way that we're able to get deep. That's why I wanted you on the podcast. That's how I pitched you on this podcast. I said, Q and I can talk for 8 hours, but we're not just talking about, like you said, sports and girls and stupid stuff. Yeah. Like we'll be talking about, you know, the 4th dimension of the universe.
Yeah,
and
we'll go the distance.
You know, like I remember, I think it's just so funny, like, because, you know, you're a casual, peaceful, quiet guy when you want to be. And then other times it just like pours out of you and you're like, oh, damn. But I remember there was one day where I was like not doing that good. And I called Q just like asking, just really wanting to talk, but I was just kind of telling him, yo, like, this sucks. What would you do? And I swear to you, if homie didn't give me like an MLK worthy like speech, he's like quoting verses from the book of Enoch and like saying parables. And I remember I hung up and I was like,
Parables.
who gets that? No one gets that advice. Like,
Not at 28, 26, whatever it was, right?
yeah,
That's so cool.
I appreciate that.
All right, so I did want to ask you this. It's something I've wanted to talk about on the show, but I try to convince the boomers why I watch anime or why I watch cartoons.
Yeah.
I try to slowly push it on them. You know, maybe we'll start with the new Spider-Man. Amazing graphics, great movie. They might dig that. but they don't watch cartoons. Like their generation's like, oh, someone drew it? I can't relate. It's not a true detective. People got murdered and raped. I don't want to watch it. Right? But for me, and you as well, anime is like, it's comfort food for me. You know, it's visually pleasing. But I try to explain it to people that like, I've learned more lessons about being a man watching anime. I swear
Which
to you.
blew my mind. He said that this morning. I'm like,
I swear. And so
Absolutely.
I want to get your take on like why your kids are gonna watch anime.
Yes. So yeah, for one, yeah, my kids are definitely gonna watch anime. If they're not airing certain shows, I will have to store them somewhere so they can watch them. Believe it. If you know, you know. But it's there's this strong dichotomy nowadays, especially in our culture and our society, between people who watch anime and people who don't, and it's so weird that that's such a big divide now. But I will say that if you're not watching it, you're missing out. Anime is it's just like any other production, except for the fact that it has no limitations. They're literally, I mean, there's the only trade-off that you're getting there is being able to see that expression on someone's face when they're just acting their ass off, and you're like, wow, like they are really doing it. That's the only thing that you're missing there. Beyond that, the concepts, the range at which you can explore the realms and depths of humanity. I mean, like there's a show. I mean, I don't want to just be dropping stuff like that, but like anybody who wanted to get into anime and really, you know, take something that's kind of worthy, you can go and watch like Attack on Titan or something like that.
That's where I started. That was the first anime for me.
It explores, and especially I know because you're a biblical scholar yourself, like you will thoroughly appreciate that. There are concepts that you can't necessarily explore just with our present realm of, you know, physicality.
It's like,
there's limits.
It's
But
anime.
there's no limits there.
There's no limits in an animated show. And a lot of people take it as a cartoon and think that it's childish. There are extremely, if not adult-only themes being expressed in these shows. Yeah, for sure. Very, very raw, very honest, like just real as it can be. Portrayals of anything. You can see anything. What if you got dropped into another world, like Gilligan's Island, but for real? And I mean, not to be facetious, but like, you know, there's Gilligan's Island. You know, people who grew up, you know, and that's what they saw, and that was the extent of. What if I just got isolated in a situation where this is all I had, and it was just me, and I had to grind it out? Yeah. What if you died and then went to a world and had to be reborn, but you were still like your conscious self? How would you actually
alternate reality?
Yeah. How would you play it out? Being conscious, not having to learn, having your own self, but starting from the beginning. What would you do?
Can I drop something like stupid deep?
It could be.
But I have
do your thing
too.
first. But remind me.
It.
Just say stupid deep. Go.
I was just gonna say, I think the reason that I want my kids to watch anime, especially like the core ones, so like Naruto, like Hunter x Hunter, you know, the classic One Piece.
Never give up.
That's what I was gonna say.
Never give
There's
up.
no other depiction
Never
of a character failing and failing and failing and every show has the same arc. It's a character who has a story that's bad. His family got killed. His dad left him. He's trying to find his dad. You know, like some trauma. And the way that they overcome the trauma is hard work and never quitting. That's what every show is about.
Ultimately,
gets killed. Oh, I still have one more hit in me. Beats the bad guy. But it's like, I didn't watch things like that as a kid. I just thought like sports was that for me. Watching Gladiator, right? Wow, he was able to conquer whatever. Marcus Aurelius is badass.
MMA.
But then as a young adult, I'm watching these animes and I'm like, if I would have watched this as a kid, I'm going to every practice. I'm trying everything.
My bad.
But yeah, stupid deep. That's what my main conclusion there was.
No, it's
How to be
great.
a man.
And I don't think I'm going.
Yeah, no, hit
when
it.
you said an alternate reality, I mean, there's all this, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
the multiverse and the whole deal, right? But it's like, as a person of faith, you grow up understanding, okay, there's this heaven, and my loved ones are waiting for me, and there's going to be paradise, and there's streets of gold, and there's pearly gates, and the whole thing. And my take on that is God is trying to explain something to us that is unexplainable. The human brain can't grasp eternity, infinity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I love science and faith, they're not enemies,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I believe that with all my heart. I love Einstein, just trip on that. But one of the biggest fears that I've had in that whole thing, because I explore in my mind and I'm not afraid to go to places, well, what if it is this? We don't know. Ain't nobody come back from it, except for one. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to explain it to a bunch of simple people that didn't understand farming and fishing. And he's telling parables and just must be like, golly, because he had such an enlightened, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, give me your take on this. Does consciousness survive death? And if you believe that, why do you believe that? Because that was a fear, like, what if I don't get to be me in the next place? Because I dig me like that, even though I'm flawed so much.
I do think that consciousness survives death for sure. There is, we could go. This could take.
I knew I did it. I knew I did it.
Place.
Michael, sorry, bro. That hard stop.
I mean, your consciousness is definitely separate from your body. Your identity is very tied to your body, but your consciousness is not your identity. I mean, when you think a thought or you think a word, who said it?
Yeah.
That wasn't, you think anything in your head, something said it. You didn't hear it though. You definitely didn't hear it.
Yeah.
You ain't see it. You're not tasting it.
Let's take a
smelling it,
moment.
nothing.
Yeah, let's think about it. Yeah, and that's the show.
Shout out to KRS-One actually, because that's a drop from him. But yeah, you know that your consciousness is definitely separate. It goes somewhere. Who's to say where? But I do believe that your consciousness is separate. Yeah, this is a vehicle. You know, this is high divine technology. I'm not going to reduce it to a vehicle. It's divine technology. It's the most advanced biomechanics on the planet
that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of at least on the planet right now, and we're kind of just riding it. And there's scripture that kind of alludes to the fact that you're separate from your flesh, and it really is just a conscious choice that you don't allow your flesh to lead you. You lead the flesh. Well, that's only possible if there is if there is some form of separation or distinction between them. Not to say that they aren't tied. They're definitely tied. There's your body mind. Your subconscious is definitely bigger than your consciousness. But when we say consciousness, what we're really talking about is that
Self.
self, the whole thing. When your body's gone, it's literally it's a field that will dissipate from your body, and your body doesn't get created or destroyed. Your body just goes and gets reconstituted and goes back into the earth to continue that cycle, and whatever that was will continue on its journey wherever it's meant to go, and the parts of energy that is deposited in everywhere else will stay there and will continue to do what it's supposed to do and affect those things the way it was supposed to, however they choose to use that energy. Because I could pour into somebody and they could do whatever they wanted.
21 grams.
Yeah.
So let me,
that when they measured it at yep.
All right.
So all right, I want to piggyback off this, and this is kind of wild, but I agree with this because of just the fact that like the energy and like this different dimensional plane that we experience in our everyday life, like there's got to be an answer for it. And what I'm talking about there is a simple concept of like, you meet someone and it feels like you've known them in a past life. I don't know why, but I can hear your thoughts. I know what you were gonna talk about corn dogs. Do I know why? No, but it's because maybe we ate corn dogs like 3 lives ago. I don't, you know what I mean? So listen how trippy this is. earlier this year, I am not in a place where I'm looking for a relationship at all. I am single, focused, living my best life, and I am not detouring. I'm literally telling my buds, like, not till I'm like 32. Maybe I'll start looking then.
Yep.
Right? And so I meet this girl at a festival, and just instantly, it's like an annoying connection. Like, after the first day, I'm kind of like, why do I already like this girl and feel like we have this vibe? Like, I don't want to. So a whole festival, I'm avoiding it. You know, I'm literally playing defense.
Deeply entangled.
Yeah, so, right? So we go months without talking again, and then we go to a different festival together. We're like part of the same friend group at this time. So the second time, instantly it's like a deeper kind of connection, you know. We're still not intimate, nothing, but I'm like, I think maybe I met like my best friend. And I'm still trying to explain it away. My friends are like, why don't you guys date? And I'm like, well, first off, we barely know each other. You know, I'm taking it slow if I really like someone. And secondly, I don't know. I want to be single. Like, I'm playing the game. Fast forward, I'm dating this girl now. She's amazing. I couldn't get away from her. I literally tried to not like her and convince myself, you're not attracted to her. She's probably flawed. You're not ready. You know, everything. But it still worked out. And so, listen to how weird this is. We can read each other's thoughts already. You know, like sitting on the couch watching something, and in her head she's like, damn, I'm kind of hungry. And I'm like, I have some pasta. Do you want me to make it? She's like, how did you hear me say that in my head? I'm like, yeah. You know, but like different, like we just like will not be saying anything, and then it's weird. I could talk about it for hours. But I learn that her last name is Friend, and she is connected with this girl. Right, friends. I got friend zoned.
That's hilarious.
But she's connected with this girl, and she asked me, she's like, do you know Morgan? She tells me her name, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I can't remember where I know that from, but I definitely know that name. Right? So I'm like, did she go to Swanee Elementary? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, dang, like I remember her from elementary school. Right? And then the more I think about it over time, I'm like, I feel like I know this girl on a deeper level, but I can't place it. Like, was she in my 3rd grade class? Like, what is it? And then I go, oh my God, like she rode my bus. Now I'm remembering her face, right? And then it was probably 2 months after we had talked about this, I have a light bulb moment. And I go to my girl and I'm like, what neighborhood did Morgan live in? And she goes, have you heard of Windham Hill? I said, I lived in Windham Hill.
That's
She
wild.
said, no way. I used to go play at Morgan's house in Windham Hill all the time. And I said, did you play in the 2nd cul-de-sac? She said, yeah, that's where we would go.
That's wild.
So I find out that I met my current girlfriend when I was a kid.
Dang.
And that I used to hang out with this girl. And her parents, like, remember me. And you know what they said? This was the perfect end with her family. But I got the vouch of a lifetime. Apparently, Morgan's mom told my girl's mom, like, oh yeah, I remember him. They used to play in the cul-de-sac. He was always very protective of his little sister. And I was like,
Ooh, booyah.
it's like the best thing she
Best
could
thing
have
mom could
said.
say, yeah.
So you're saying that probably, no, not probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Possibly there was a previous entanglement.
You know, just
which-
like a weird
I know.
universal
So it's
connection.
I don't know, because I mean, I know I follow the carpenter from Nazareth, you know, with no shame. I might see him differently than some, you know what I'm saying? But as far as what about, you know, reincarnation? I'm like, I'm open. What if there's one life and a number of visitations? What if there's one soul life that can create a heaven or a hell
Or,
in
you
that
know,
meditation, whatever it is.
different quantum
And those that are, you know,
pathways.
followers of Jesus, don't cancel me. I'm going deep. Like,
Going
man,
deep.
we don't know. God is so much bigger than we think. I can't remember who said it, but isn't it funny how when we talk about past lives, we're always someone famous? It's like always. It's like,
I
man,
was the lead
no,
samurai.
I was Marcus Aurelius. Actually, no, dude, you were working on the aqueducts. you were a Roman plumber, dude. Not as sexy.
That's really
I was the shogun. I was him.
Yeah, right. All right, I have a game that I think would be funny, and then we can wrap.
We got to close
so
in
we
it.
can let
I have
Michael-
one thing I
Michael
want
go.
y'all to do too as a wrap. It's short, but go.
Okay, so I want to test our telepathic powers. You could be the moderator.
All right.
We get 3 tries. If we fail, awesome. It's hard to do regardless.
Like in the car when you're little. Go ahead.
Exactly. We're going to play that game. Okay. But I feel like we can do it.
Okay.
All right. So what I want to do is like you say a word, I'll say a word, and then you give us a countdown and we'll both try to say
The
matching word.
Okay.
Okay, but
So,
there's no tricks or
I say
cheats.
one word, you say one word, and then we try to say
The same
word
word.
right after that.
Exactly.
Got it.
But we'll let him do a countdown. You get what I'm saying? So like
Give
basically,
me a stupid example.
He'd say like genius.
Okay.
I would say banana,
Okay.
and then 1, 2, 3.
And then say a word.
Yeah, just something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
But you have the word.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll Am's
Exactly.
countdown, man. Go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. You start.
Shoelace.
Shoelace. LeBron James.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jordan.
What'd you say?
I said the crown.
Okay.
Hey, wait, Jordan. That's
Yeah.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
go.
Right there.
The GOAT.
The goat.
All right.
The goat.
All right.
Another
let's do
conversation.
it.
All right.
All right. I'll start this one. Chicago.
Pop Tarts.
5,
I like
4,
that.
3, 2, 1.
Snacks.
As a strudel.
That was
It's right there.
I was gonna try to cheat though. Honestly, I was gonna try to wait to hear what. All right, we don't got it today, but you know, it was close. It was
close, it was close.
And, I mean, we had a 40-minute drive back to Swanee from Kennesaw
Yeah.
that we made every Saturday and every Sunday forever, ever. It wasn't every other weekend.
Yep.
And we played crazy games. But one of them was is I want you to think, Lane will be in the back, I want you to think of an exotic animal, and I want you just to send. Don't think, just send. And then Cole and I'd be like, okay, just receive. Just clear your mind. I'm driving. Clear your mind.
I'm driving.
And then we're going to do the same thing. And we got it up. And it was stupid. It wasn't just like lion.
I think it was Lena. Yeah.
Lena.
It was Lena's witchcraft.
Lena's been a superhero for a long time.
Yeah. I'm gonna give Lena the credit on that one. We got it a couple
So you
times.
said Lena was in the back saying just send. Lena is
Right.
a superhero.
Send.
She is.
Professor X.
Okay, last thing, and then we sign off. And this is going to be just like a couple of sentences, okay? Not developing the thought. But I want each of you to give advice to Gen Z and boomers,
Okay.
okay?
Both.
And this is, just something they need. And you're in the middle at the millennial stage, which you guys are brilliant. It's a brilliant generation. Gen Z, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
So, and the alphas,
What
watch out for
What
them.
if I do Gen Z and you do?
The boomers.
That's good. So we'll keep to our,
All right,
let's do it.
I'll go Gen Z. I think my biggest advice to Gen Z is one, to like know your worth, to know how smart y'all are. Gen Z is ridiculously smart. They have access to everything. Can't deny that.
Okay.
You can talk to an 11-year-old kid right now and you will walk away like, is he smart? Like, am I smarter than a 5th grader?
No,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Okay,
No,
so know your
that's
worth.
different.
I also think we can't predict what this world is going to be like in 10 years. So my actual advice to young people is don't try to predict it. Don't try to plan. Don't have a 10-year plan. That's dumb, in my opinion. What you can do is prepare yourself. And like I said earlier, sharpen that weapon in whatever way you want, whether it's hobbies, whether it's work, whether it's physical exercise. create the best version of yourself to be able to pivot at any change and adapt to anything and stop worrying so much. I remember when I was a kid, I was so worried. What is my career gonna be? Am I gonna fail? If I have a 9-to-5 job, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then you get older and you're like, I can do whatever I want. It'll be fine. Maybe I have a completely different career in 2 years. It doesn't matter because I know I'm smart and I can get it done.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my advice
That's
to
good.
Gen Z. Be smart, know your worth, don't plan too much. Don't worry too much.
Don't overthink it. Okay.
Don't overthink it.
I got you.
I guess to the boomers, to the old heads and the elders, I would say don't be afraid to keep learning new things. There's a trope, there's a cliche, old dogs can't learn new tricks. But the pace of the world, I mean, everything, especially technology and social spaces, they grow exponentially. And we need y'all. Like, there's gotta be a connection between us, especially as men, really. Yeah. We need to reestablish that connection. And, it may sound pretentious coming from a young one, but it'd be helpful, for more older people to bridge that gap in meaningful ways. Because a lot of young people who haven't had that guidance, they're heading on straight in the first place. But a lot of young people think that y'all don't know.
Yeah. True.
And I be the first one to try and tell people, like, my dad is up on game. Cole's dad is up on game. But we need y'all to engage with us still, and not necessarily allow the pace and the speed of everything that is going on with all the craziness. Not necessarily the pace, but just the sheer volume of stuff now has just grown. It's just stuff and things, but that sheer volume of just stuff. Don't be afraid to wade in it with us, because we are still lacking on some of our faculties as a whole. Plenty of our faculties, honestly, and we need y'all. That discipline. We don't have the same levels of discipline. I'm lucky. We're lucky that we got that. Yeah,
that's good. And as a boomer, I'm the last year of the boomers. 64 is so I snuck in, and I'm definitely a boomer in my mind. It will tell you that. But I'm telling old people, don't give up on this young generation. Don't sleep on them. They're world changers. Their ideas and their thoughts, and I mean, they really have. They're absorbing. And the older folks, it's hard because more times you go around the sun, you get more and more discouraged. And you look at the young people and say, just. And one of the things, and believe with this, is in the prisons, we try to get the older brothers to embrace the younger brothers, which is unheard of, because I'm telling you, 17-year-olds call the 19-year-olds old heads. Okay, so it's this gap. So the older dudes in prison, they've given up and say, young ones, you can't, these 2000 babies, you can't control them. And I'm like, not true. They need you. They need the wisdom of the elder, because they're not sitting around the campfire hearing the stories and traditions, which is human nature. We're supposed to pass it on. And if we abdicate, you suffer. But if we don't learn from you, we die. So, I mean, we went deep today. Yeah. Hey, I love you, man.
Love you too.
Thank you. Mad respect for your brain and spirit and soul. I mean, we need you.
Much love.
And you picked well. You guys both chose well who you want to be best friends with. Close us out, Cody.
Well, that was another beautiful episode of the Power Peace podcast. I feel like we're getting better at this every time.
It's natural.
But I have to pee so bad. I love this. Thank y'all. Here's the QR code, baby.
The manager.
Put it here, potentially.
And Michael can put it right here.
Yeah. Yep. I am the Power Peace.
Hit up share, subscribe, like, give us ideas, donate. Our manager, the beautiful TC, Terry, my wife, donate. We want to help more young people. Love y'all.
Much love. One love.
Opens our eyes, it changes our minds.